Good morning. Happy Wednesday. I am glad you are joining us for this 9 at 9. So we're going to talk about the story of the rich young ruler that we talked about this past Sunday. It's in Luke 18. One of the interesting things about the story is when Jesus asked this young man, do you know the commandments? Have you kept the commandments? And the guy says, I've kept them. And so Jesus begins to list the commandments. But Jesus gets the order wrong. He starts with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He doesn't do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if I ask you, do you know the 10 Commandments? You'll go, yeah, I do. And you'll begin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the way any of us would do that. And you think with Jesus, who is challenging this young man, have you been faithful to God's teachings? Have you done what God asked you to do up to this point? He starts in the middle. He begins with don't commit adultery. Well, that's like 7 or 8 of this thing. Don't murder, don't lie, don't steal. On and on the list goes. He misses what we call the vertical section. Okay, it's been long understood that the 10 Commandments have 2 sections. The first section deals with your relationship with God, the vertical aspect. The second section, beginning with honor your father and your mother, that's horizontal. That's where it begins with your relationship with each other. Honor your father and your mother. Don't murder, don't lie, don't steal, don't covet, don't commit adultery, on and on like that. Jesus ignores or misses the first half of the commandments. Or does he? What's the first commandment? Thou shalt have no other gods before me. What's the second commandment? You shall have no graven images. You won't ever capture my likeness. What's the third? Don't make my name mean nothing. Do not take my name in vain. Look at what Jesus does. You lack one thing. And the one thing he lacked was commandment number 1. Commandment number 2, and commandment number 3. Go sell everything you have. Give it to the poor. Then you'll have treasure in heaven. Then come follow me. But then the story tells us that the man can't do it. Why? Well, he had too many possessions. His possessions were telling him, it's like I've told you before, the problem isn't that you have possessions. The problem is the possessions have you. And the problem is when you start listening to your stuff rather than God. Who is it that had the ultimate say in this man's life? His stuff. Now, you're going, oh, come on, Mike, nobody lets their stuff tell them what to do, really? Think about how much of your life is determined by when you got to get home to take care of your home, what you have to calendar to take care of your car. Do you have a boat? Well, the boat has to be winterized and the boat has to be prepared for spring and summer use. Do you have a place at the beach? Well, it has to be shut down for the winter and opened up for the season. Do you have a business? Well, there are obligations to run that business. See how it goes? All of a sudden you look at your calendar and you don't get to decide what you're going to do on Tuesday. Why? Because Tuesday you've got to be at this meeting. That's already been determined for you. See, that's what Jesus is saying. Get yourself free of all of that stuff, then come and follow me. But he can't do it because he violated the first commandment. There was another God in this man's life, and his God was stuff. Jesus said you can't serve God and stuff. You will love one and you will hate the other. But you can't serve God and stuff. This man chose to serve his stuff and missed the first commandment. So, interesting question. If Jesus were to ask you, you know the commandments, could you say you've kept them all since birth? Or would you, like this guy, miss the very first one? Yeah, it's a tough one. I'll give you about 60 seconds. Think on it, and I'll see you tomorrow.